allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody to the March 2024 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Before we get underway, a few administrative matters. Please be aware of the fire exit to your left. In the event of emergency, please move in a calm and orderly fashion down either the north or the south stairs. Please do not use the elevator. Our minutes are being taken by our Secretary, Michelle, for a purpose of a record in minutes, so when you come to the microphone, please identify yourself and speak into the microphone. The meeting minutes are not intended to be a verbatim record, but only to indicate the sum and substance of the proceedings. The meeting is being recorded by our RCAT department and broadcast on Spectrum Channel 1303. When you come to the podium, identify yourself by your name and your address, then pause a moment to be sworn, and then present your case to the board. We follow the items in the order that they appear on the agenda. Extra copies of the agenda are on the table near the door. Once the case has been called, as I said, the applicant or the representative comes to the podium, identifies themselves with their address, stops to be sworn, and presents their case. During the presentation of the case by the applicant or their representative, the members of the board have an opportunity to ask questions of the applicant or engage in a discussion. And once that process has been completed, we then open things to public input. Anyone wishing to speak to the board regarding the application should come to the podium and identify themselves, state their address, no need to be sworn, and direct all their questions and comments to the board, not to the applicant. Once the public in portion, and we have identified three categories of public input. The first will be those who wish to speak in favor of the application. The second would be those who wish to speak in opposition to the application. And the third is those who would like to address the application, but are neither in favor nor opposed to the application. That doesn't happen often, but it does. Once we've heard from everyone in the public input portion of the proceeding, the applicant will have a chance to respond to anything that was raised during that portion, and then the hearing will be closed and we'll continue on to the next case. After we've heard all the cases, the board takes a brief recess. Then we return to deliberate on the cases in the order in which they appear on the agenda and for which the applicant is still present. So if the applicant whose case is first on the agenda has left, the applicant who's second on the agenda would be heard first, and we would take the next applicant who's present, then go back to the top and deliberate on the cases for the applicants who are not present anymore. There's no further input during this portion of the proceeding unless it's specifically requested by a member of the board. You're welcome to leave, you're welcome to stay. If you leave and you're interested in knowing what happened, you can either rush home and turn on channel 1303 and find out directly, or you can call the Planning and Zoning Department tomorrow morning after 9 a.m. And now we will have the first case on our agenda called.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First item on the agenda is case number ZB 2024-03-01, request by Arlene Dalton for an area variance to install a 6-foot-high rear yard fencing on a vacant lot on premises 24 Berry Road in an R1 residential district.
Hi, I am Arlene Dalton, and I reside and own the property at 24 Berry Road. And I am here to request an area variance for a 6-foot fence in our backyard. Our backyard is split into 2 lots. Oh, I didn't pause.
Stop and raise your right hand.
I didn't pause, sorry.
Do you swear or affirm that everything you say tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Thank you.
so sorry.
That's all right.
So I am here to apply for an area variance to install a 6-foot fence in our backyard, which is, part of it is considered a vacant lot. So that is why I'm here to request the variance.
And as I understand it, this is, at least in part, is to keep your dog from jumping over the 4-foot fence that's there now.
Yes, that's the main reason.
So is this on the back side of the property? Okay. And we did this, didn't we do this a a year ago? Like the side?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
He's found
Thank
a
you.
new way out.
Oh. Okay. We're gonna keep him in.
Yeah, hopefully.
Are you going to do anything with the front section?
No, we have a chain link fence there. It's newer, so I don't expect that to be a problem. The other fences are older, and so they're more solid, and he can climb them,
Gotcha.
apparently.
Oh,
We've seen them, actually, but
creative. Any other questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, we'll open it to public input. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this application? Step right up.
My name is Mary Pacone, and I live at 33 Rollinson Road. And this young lady, her yard backs into my backyard. And when she put up the other fence, it was beautiful, and I agree with her because I've seen her dogs, and sometimes they do jump over the fence, and we're afraid that he's either going to get hit by a car or somebody's going to steal him because they're beautiful dogs. So I really think she needs the fence.
All right, if I'm correct, when her dogs climb the fence, they're in your yard.
No, there's my fence here, and then my neighbor next door has a fence, but it's a little bit shorter, so the dog works his way into his yard,
Into the neighbor's yard.
into
Okay.
the neighbor's yard.
All right.
Yeah.
Where there is no fence.
Well, there's a fence, but it's a little short one.
Not one to contain him.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Is there, did you have anything else?
No, I'm
Okay.
sorry, that's it, young man.
That's all right.
All right, thank you. Am I done?
You're done.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to this application? Anyone who'd like to talk to us about fences or fence climbing dogs or anything related like that? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing with respect to this matter and move on to the next case on our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next case is case number ZB 2024-03-02. Request by Deborah Moscato for an area variance to construct an accessory structure on a lot without a primary residence on premises 353 Bayfront Lane North in a residential, in an R2 residential district.
Hi, I'm Debbie Moscato. I live at 383 Bayfront Lane North. That's my primary residence. Adjacent to that is 385 Bayfront Lane North, and that's what we're here for tonight.
Could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that everything you say tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Okay. So you own both of these lots,
I do.
but they haven't been combined into a single lot as yet.
That is correct.
Right? And what you want to do is replace what's already there.
That's correct.
And right now, there's nothing, is there anything in your deed to either property that would restrict you from selling off the 385 Bayfront Lane North property separate and apart from the 383?
I don't know the answer to that.
If we were inclined to grant your request, would you agree that it can be on the condition that the 385 lot cannot be transferred with the variance separate and apart from the 383 lot?
Yes,
Okay. Because I'm assuming that you're using this as one big property as opposed to two separate properties.
that is correct. I mean, there'd be no point to sell it. There-
Well, somebody might
separate.
decide that they could build a house there with variances or stuff. I don't know. We've had situations come up in the past, and I'm just concerned that somebody might try and sell a lot with a shed.
No.
That's why the provision is in there. That's in the code that you're asking for a variance for. Okay. Questions, comments from the board?
Yes, hi. I saw you earlier today. My question would be, do you plan to run electric to that shed, or do you plan to run it from your house meter, or have the RG&E give you another drop?
There is currently already electric in the shed that's there, and we probably would utilize that.
Is that coming from your house or just another meter?
Comes from the house.
Okay.
The picture that came with our stuff, is that what this house is gonna look like? That was in our packet?
That's what the shed that I want to build is going to look like.
'Cause that says it's 12 by 20, I just wanna know.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But yours is gonna be 12 by 30, right?
We're not going to go as big as 12 by 30, but I think originally when I was applying for this, we kind of said we know that we can go with a 30-foot frontage, but I think we're going to do the 12 by 20.
So you're asking us to approve 12 by 20 or 12 by 30?
Well, do I need a building permit as well?
You will.
That would be different?
I don't know
If you
that
ap-
it'd be
if you-
different.
If you approve the 12 by 30 and I go smaller, that's no problem?
No.
Then why don't we just say that?
12 by 20?
12 by 30,
12 by 30.
and then if I
Okay.
go smaller,
Yeah.
that's okay.
I was just confused when you
Sorry.
were referring to 12 by 20. Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, we'll open it up to public input. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this application? Anyone who'd like to talk to us about vacant parcels or sheds? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing with respect to this matter. Move on to the next case on the agenda.
Hey Jim, just real quick, can you just
Yep.
repeat what you said about the lots and like you were just kind of clarifying? Can you just say that again? Like,
Oh, a condition, we can put a
Yeah.
condition on the variance, that we approve the variance with a condition that the property cannot be transferred separate and apart from the 383 property with the shed remaining on the vacant property.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case on the agenda is case number ZB 2024-03-04. Request by Adam Tillier for an area variance to construct a new single-family dwelling with less than required front setback on premises 1607 Titus Avenue in an R1 and R2 residential district.
Hi, my name is Adam Talier. I live at 560 List Avenue.
You raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that everything you say tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Adam Talier. I own AJ Talier Construction. I am the agent for the current owner of the lot, Karen Bauer. I plan on building her home there. I did own the property before I sold her the lot. And I purchased the property in 2023 and sold it to her, or believe around August 2023. What we found out when we were trying to place a new home on this lot, was that even though the lot is very large, because the two houses that are to the, one house to the east and one house to the west are so different from how far they are away from the road, the current code, I think, was changed, leaving a gray area. So if anywhere I try to place this house for the customer, I still would have to come in and ask for a variance. So I believe the setback is 30 feet frontage, and we're asking for around 60 feet. So you would think that we would be approved, but because the neighbor to the east, to the west is 120 feet, the way the code reads, it's not very clear of what we can do, so. I'm asking you to approve the placement of the house to be similar within 5 feet of the house to the east on Titus. And then also following the normal setbacks that are normal town code,
So the side setbacks and the rear setbacks are not a problem?
not a problem.
Now, did you own 1595 as well?
1595, is that to the east?
To the west?
To the west, no.
Because I know we had a variance with respect to that property at some point in the not too far past. And I couldn't recall what it is. And then it shows a stockade fence that seems to be part of 1595?
Right now, that runs through Karen's property,
Right.
and that's going to be removed. So 1595 owned the property,
Owned both?
owned both. It was in the original development back in the 50s, it was approved as a building lot, but she owned both lots. And then it wasn't until recently that she put it up for sale.
Okay. All right. So she knows that fence is going?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. The fence is in disarray.
Questions or comments from the board?
And it looks like access is gonna be from the house to the west through their driveway.
That's what, when I bought the property, that's what I asked from that owner, to have an easement, an access easement. And then that was transferred to Karen when she bought it from me.
So you got no cut going out yourself then to Titus?
Right now, no.
Are you planning one in the future? I wouldn't think so if you're
No,
putting the driveway in off of the neighboring property. And I assume that the access easement has provisions for maintenance and repair?
yep.
Okay. Unless there's other questions or comments from the board, we'll open it up to public input. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this application? Step right up.
Hi, my name is Diane Flaherty, and I live directly across the street, and I would love them to build a home there, so if you're good with it, I'd love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else here to speak in favor of this application?
Hi, I'm Karen Bauer. I'm the current owner of 1607 Titus Avenue. My fiance Sam and I bought the land from Adam last year. We're looking to build a new home. We're excited to join the neighborhood. Hopefully find the right placement for the house.
Anyone else here who wishes to speak in favor of this application? Anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to this application? Anyone who'd like to talk to us about building new houses or how to get into them? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing with respect to this matter, and we'll take a 5-minute recess. that, I think everyone is here, but we'll just check, is the applicant for 24 Berry Road still present?
Yes.
And 385 Bayfront Lane?
Yes.
And 1607 Titus Avenue. All right, so we're gonna call them in that order. The first, application for consideration pertains to the property at 24 Berry Road. This is a type 2 action for seeker purposes. Does anyone wish to make a motion with respect to this application?
I'll make a motion that we grant the request as presented by the applicant based on the following findings of fact. Neighborhood character, if the fence fits within the neighborhood, they already have an existing fence that's 6 foot, and they're just trying to add to the fence so that they can protect their dogs. Not really a feasible alternative solution. The only solution would probably be not to grant the variance. Substantial, it's only a 2-foot request. Environmental impacts, I didn't see any. And then self-created, it wasn't self-created because they've had issues with safety and their dogs getting out into the neighborhood. And with those facts, I recommend that we grant the application as presented.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, 7 votes in favor. No opposed, no abstentions. The board is fully constituted, no one is absent. Next item for consideration pertains to 385 Bayfront Lane North. This is a type 2 action for seeker purposes. I'll make a motion that we grant the variance with a condition, the condition being the lot cannot be transferred with the shed separately from 383 Bayfront Lane North. And with respect to the findings of fact, this will not have a negative change to the character of the neighborhood. If anything, it will improve it because the newer shed will be a much nicer and more aesthetically pleasing shed than the one that's presently on the property that's deteriorating. The alternative that doesn't require a variance would be removing the shed and not having a shed on the property, which is not feasible given the need of the owner to use the shed for storage and other things. It's not a substantial request given the fact that the property is adjacent and it's only going to be slightly bigger than the shed that is there. It will have no adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions if it's granted. It's not a self-created situation. The shed that was there is falling apart.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, 7 votes in favor, no opposed, no abstentions. No one is absent. The board is fully constituted. As a matter of fact, we have our alternate with us, so we're even over constituted tonight. Which I think is actually the first time in years that we've actually had 8 members at a meeting at the same time.
Well equipped, well prepared.
Wonderful thing. All right, the next application pertains to 1607 Titus Avenue. This also is a type 2 action for seeker purposes. Does someone wish to make a motion with respect to this application?
I'll make a motion that we approve the application based on the following findings of fact. It will be an improvement to the neighborhood. It's better than a vacant lot. They can't really do anything but apply for a variance based on the positioning of the 2 houses to the east and west of them. The variance is not substantial. It's in line with other adjacent properties. There will be no adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions as presented, and it's not self-created because, like you said, no matter where they put it, they have to apply for a variance based on the neighbors.
I'll second.
Who seconded that? Joe? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. 7 votes in favor, no opposed, no abstentions, no members absent. We continue to be overly constituted, along with the applications for the cases to be considered tonight. Everyone should have received the proposed minutes from the February and January meetings. January 8th and February 5th? I have them here. Did everyone receive copies of the draft of the minutes?
Yes.
Anybody have any additions or corrections to suggest to the minutes?
Yeah, I'd like to make a note that I believe on the February 5th meeting, I abstained on both votes.
I believe I have that. 1 abstained, 6 ayes for the first case and the only case. Was there only 1 case? Sagamore.
No, you have down as 6 aye?
And 1 abstained. The
Oh,
board.
yeah. But I think it should be 5 aye, because on the next
Oh, yeah.
case, there's,
We had our alternate sit in that evening, so we would have had a fully constituted board as 7 members.
yep,
So 6 would have been aye, and Mr. Upson would have abstained, correct?
yes, so that should be
What am I missing?
abstain instead of absent.
I have it as abstained.
Oh, I read that, but I read
6 ayes, 0 nays, 0 absent, and 1 abstained.
Right,
But then on the second one,
and then on the second
First
one,
case.
it says 5 aye, 1 nay, and 1 absent.
No, it should be 1 abstained. My
Right.
apologies.
That's all right.
Good catch. 1 abstained.
All right, with that, although that's the February meeting minutes.
As amended?
As amended,
Oh, we need them.
and were there any suggested revisions, corrections, alterations to the January minutes?
Just a small correction under staff present. I was sitting in for Steve Fantuzzo at the January 8th meeting.
Correct. Thank
Okay.
you, Jeff.
Is he like done with us, or is he coming back, or what's the deal with that? Okay.
Oh, very nice. So he's not getting sleep for a while.
don't miss that.
Given those changes, you want a motion to approve?
Yes,
So moved.
And the second.
all right. All those, any discussion first? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, 7 votes in favor, no opposed, no abstentions on both. I believe that concludes the business that we have before us this evening. Seeing, unless someone has other business to consider, I would move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, 7 votes in favor, no opposed, no abstentions. We are fully constituted and we are adjourned.